I'm Director of Dyslexia Services at Rawson-Saunders School in Austin, Texas. Rawson-Saunders is a full curriculum school for students grade 1st through 8th. We have students here that have been identified as being dyslexic, and we have a very rich offering of courses and opportunities to work on their strengths as well as work on the areas where they're having difficulty. We have a very specific reading program that we have our students go through. Basic language skills, which is an Orton Gillingham based program. We use best practices in teaching students with dyslexic, which are very good practices with all children, but absolutely critical for our dyslexic students. We've really enjoyed using Lexia as a program here at Rawson-Saunders. We've really enjoyed using Lexia here at Rawson-Saunders because we do serve students 1st through 8th grade. The fact that it has programs for all 3 levels, the primary level, the early level, and the SOS, strategies for older students, we're able to really use that to enrich and practice for all our students the concepts they're learning. We use in our reading program a very structured, systematic, best practices reading approach, and Lexia follows that same structure that has been established as being really critical, good for all students, but critical for those students with dyslexia. And we're able to use our site license to access online with the web-based program whichever level we're wanting students to work at in the classrooms. It's also been great to have it as a resource for our parents to use at home with the students to continue their practice, give them extra practice, or help with problems with retention during the summer. These are all ways we've used it. The teachers have given great feedback, and I'm thrilled that we have been able to continue it on our school campus.
Hi, my name is Allison Barnwell. I'm a teacher here at Rawson-Saunders School. I've been teaching here for 8 years, and I work with the 1st and 2nd grade students. We first started using Lexia program about 5 years ago, and it's been a great tool to use in the classroom. I have my students work on it every day for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's been really great for the youngest kids, which are the ones that I teach, to use and to have this daily practice. Another thing I love about it is that it's so structured and leveled. So I might have one student that stays in the early reading program for a long time, while others have the ability to move on if they're ready. Some dyslexic students need a lot more exposures than a typical learner. A typical learner can learn something in, say, 25 exposures, and a dyslexic student might need anywhere from 500 to 1,500 exposures to really become automatic. So it's been great to have some of my more severe students be able to have that repetition and that practice, because that's hard to work into the classroom full of other students to make the time to provide 500 practices. Lexia really helps provide that. Another thing that's great about Lexia is the students can monitor their own progress, and there's little charts that show when they mastered a skill, these little bars, and they can do maybe 10 practices of one thing, and if they get them all correct, it moves up a bar. So there's little increments that they can see themselves rising, and they get so excited to watch their little bar go up, and then when they fill up the whole bar, it's a big celebration in the classroom. And I've had some students that are severe or need a lot of practice, and they'll struggle with one thing, and then when they finally get their bar filled up, they're just so excited, and it's a joy to watch.
Hi, I'm Perry Stokes. I'm here at Rawson-Saunders. I'm an academic language therapist. I'm also a third grade teacher, and I also support our entire staff as Dean of Faculty, so I wear many hats like so many of us do. I was so excited to get Lexia on the campus because I had access to it at a previous job, and I was tremendously thrilled that we were going to use it here. I find that as a teacher or an academic language therapist that it's important to give students extra practice, enrichment, and review. And so many of our students are so electronically motivated. They have access to media of all types at their fingertips. And so given that it's electronic media, computer-based, and so innovatively put together, it naturally fits the needs and desires of most of the students that I've worked with, from young to old. I have two examples. This past year, two of my gentlemen that I saw for academic language therapy would come in here several times a week, and it was wonderful that I could go in beforehand and program the Lexia to be showing them additional practice examples of things that we had just covered. And I'm a bit skeptical by nature, and so I looked carefully at the scope and sequence and the way it was all put together, and it was amazing how much it dovetailed with what I was teaching. So I felt like my time was well used, and of course they were motivated given that it was computer based. In fact, it even inspired me because I'm thinking in particular about how valuable the sight word practice section of Lexia is for all my students. I find that they need tons of additional enrichment and practice with sight words. And so watching all of the innovative Lexia sight word practice examples inspired me to go back and use some Lexia-inspired flashcard games, which weren't as popular, but I was trying to approach the brilliance of the sight word practice on Lexia. Really enjoy the program. I'm a certified educator in the area of special education, so in my career as an academic language therapist, a teacher, and a tutor, I've worked with students who've been diagnosed with dyslexia, as well as students that just have need for reading support. And the other thing I really like about Lexia is it has wide appeal for so many students with learning needs. The innovative software appeals to students with attentional challenges. The integration of decoding and comprehension and spelling helps really any student gain extra support and gain it through a format that's already going to be motivating for them. So that's my other piece, the fact that Lexia has such a good effect on so many readers of all ages and stages of development.